Bitch!
Welcome to the Unimaginary Friend Cast, episode 299. This is a conversation with your best friends. We are your best friends.
I'm Nathan Von Edmondson.
I'm Erin Marie Betty Davis Jr.
And I'm DavidMonster.com.
And we're all here together in one room. Can you believe it? No, nobody cares.
I can't believe it. I cannot believe
Thank
it.
you,
I'm
thank
just
you.
so amazed.
We are all together because we have been preparing and producing our 300th episode, which will be our next episode, obviously. And we have so much to show you all for that episode. Every 100th episode, we do something big. This is going to be our biggest yet. So we've been working on that all week, and we'll be editing and post-producing everything leading up to the 300th. So that's why we're all together. We're in Philadelphia, and it's great to be here.
It was just nothing but shooting and production and shooting and production and production. David, where's David? We need David on set.
And also eating. There was a lot of eating.
So much eating.
But that's our job.
That was it. It's true. So we have a comment. Ooh, someone's just really excited.
I think they're really excited we're all in the same room.
It's nothing but
Yay.
exclamation points. Or maybe they don't like us. That could be it. You guys are, yeah.
I think they like us. But anyway, so we're all here together. We just wanted to, we just go. Every episode, it's just, we're like throwing information at you and, we're doing all this research. And we just wanted to take a moment because this is a really big occasion. We've been doing this, let's see, November 21st, 2015 was our first episode. My notes right here. That is a long time. That's going on 7 years. So we wanted to take a little breather in this episode. We're all together. We've been working hard this week and just look back at this 6.5 years of producing this podcast, talk about all the good things, the bad things, the funny things, just the memorable moments. So that's what we're going to do tonight. We'd love to hear from listeners that, have been listening to the show, even just one episode, like what your favorite moments and your opinions and feedback of everything. So
No, we only want comments like Nancy Von Edmondson just said, love you all. That's what we want to hear.
I want to hear the real shit. I want to know what's going on in people's minds.
Endless affirmations and support of, sappy love.
I'll stay on after, and then everybody can give me the real shit.
Okay.
How about that? Anyway, one other thing is we have a ton of new merch, and we're going to be showing that in the coming weeks. And eventually we'll get onto our Patreon. So if you're not a patron of ours, please go to patreon.com/unimaginaryfriend. Check out what we have to offer now. We will be updating it soon. It's very exciting.
Yay.
All right. Any news this week? Aside from the fact that we're all together in one space and doing all kinds of crazy stuff.
David, do you have multiple pieces of news that you have to tease?
No, we're bored with all.
Okay, we're bored with all David's
I have
news.
one piece of news, but you guys go first.
All right.
Well, I just got this email 4 minutes ago, before we went live. And it's that we won the Boxes, our film won the Los Angeles Cinematography Awards. And I don't even know exactly what it all entails. I just got the email saying that we're a winner. So I need to look into it. But I'm super excited because we've been honored for, cinematography, which is really cool.
And you're not lying?
I'm not lying.
That's very cool. Congratulations to us.
Yay! Our film, and we're screening. So it is the 13th of July. We are screening in Austin, Texas on the 15th. So in 5 days, we are nominated for Best Comedy Film in Austin.
Isn't that 2 days? The 13th to the
13th.
Oh, the 17th. The
15,
17th. It's definitely.
wait.
Did I say the 15th? I meant
You
the
did.
17th.
So that's 4 days.
17 minus 13. I don't know.
Listen,
it's impossible.
I'm not a mathematician here. But so I don't know. There's lots of exciting things happening with our film. That's my news.
That's true.
Yay.
Yay.
Yay. I'll go next.
Ooh.
So I'm sure everyone's heard that the James Webb Telescope has taken a whole bunch of pictures of deep space.
And
And what did you think?
What
Well, I
happened?
haven't really seen them yet because
Oh.
it
Oh.
went live yesterday at 10:30 a.m. and we had so much scheduled in our shoots that we ended up missing the live stream of the event. So I've seen a few pictures online, but it's been kind of, in between takes, like people were like, last looks, and I'm like looking at my phone trying to see a picture of things that people have never seen before. Just haven't had time. So
Yeah, call time is
Hopefully-
early. Yeah.
our fans have seen.
I've only seen that one picture that's everywhere. It's in Times Square and it's everywhere on the internet. It looks fake,
Okay, so they're fake. Maybe
but
it's
They
Stanley
don't
Kubrick.
look. None of them look real. I don't know how many
Yeah.
there are. I've seen maybe a dozen. They don't.
oh, you've
look
seen it
real.
doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't look
Yeah.
real at all. But I don't think they are real. I think that they're radio images.
Well, it's like infrared images that they doctor.
So we don't know what's real. We just found out today that Helen Keller was not a wild animal who ran around. She already knew some words, and Anne Sullivan didn't teach her how to behave like a human being. So nothing in our world is real.
We're in the Matrix.
David, what's your news?
My news is a shameless plug. Should I do that?
Yes.
Sure.
Well, I launched my own Patreon, competing with Unimaginary Friend. It's not competing at all. It's my smut. Because people kept asking me, why don't you? Because I didn't know this. I present a lot of products on Amazon, and people in other countries get pissed. I've had people from China, Canada, Ireland, New Zealand, and Australia tell me that, can you please launch a Patreon for your stuff because we cannot get your things on Amazon because they suck dick.
Ooh.
What is your smut entail?
It's-
What do you give your patrons?
It's man-on-man smut, and they got a lot of man-on-man literary action and snippets, and people want my games and my stories really bad. That's the thing is, like, this is the best problem you can ever have, is I launched 3 stories. I think it was, I forget when it was a few months ago, and people the same day it launched at like noon, and then by 3 o'clock people were like, yay, I read the stories, when are the next coming out? And it's like, it took me 2 months to write those stories, so you just gotta give me a minute. Just give me a minute. So there are more launching, there are more stories launching, there's Patreon, there's If you go to davidmonster.com, you can find everything. You just look around, just keep poking around, just keep clicking until you find something.
I don't know if the audience can see. This is totally on topic of what David's talking about, but David has a big gash in his forehead over here. This is a production
Where is it?
wound. Where's my hand? This is my hand. There it is.
I was doing my own stunt.
Yeah, this is like how intense our week has been.
They had me, okay, this is a spoiler alert, but they had me jump the statue of Rocky Balboa, and there's stupid tourists everywhere. There's tourists from France, and they got in the way, and I kind of nicked this little girl, and I took a tumble. She had to go to the hospital. I think she was decapitated, but I only got a gash in my forehead.
But
So.
it was her fault.
It was her fault, because she was walking where she shouldn't have been walking.
So she got what she deserved.
She got what she deserved, little Fifi.
Speaking of little humans, we have been running around like crazy people around the city of Philadelphia filming this episode, and we have a production assistant that's been helping us. By helping us, I mean making things more complicated. Her name is Valor von Edmondson. And as much as we wanted to keep her, as a production assistant, she does make appearances in the 300th episode. So
I will say she's a diva. I was in charge of getting her water. She drank it, was not satisfied, threw it at me. I got hit in the crotch 3 times with her water cup, and I was wet and in pain. And she didn't care. She looked at me and she said, "Get another one." Whatever. I don't care.
She also
didn't
was
care.
taken to just screaming.
She just screamed.
She
Well,
screams.
if you're not paying attention to her or looking directly at her, she screams and pretend. And now she has a thing where she pretends to be choking.
Yeah, it's very
Yeah.
dramatic.
Yeah, it's and no exaggeration.
So she's really helping production move smoothly.
Yeah.
So,
She's a bit of a narcissist.
okay, so that's news. And a gold star this week. Our gold star this week goes to
Should it go to Valor Von
Valor Von
Edmondson? Because if we don't give it to her, she'll kick our ass.
Yeah, we've learned that at least.
Yeah, we had spoil something. We had a pretty intense mukbang out at a restaurant in Philadelphia, and she just did laps around the restaurant the entire time.
She's training for a marathon or some triathlon or something.
Yeah.
Very intense.
Yep.
She's not into explaining herself. She just does, and she doesn't explain, and you have to deal with it.
Yep.
But I have to say, like, she's a tiny person. She's very, very small, and she's been rallying. She's like been a pretty solid. You know, it's like tricky at times, but like she's been like, "Let's go. I'm tired, but I don't care. I'm hungry, but I don't care." And she's like running around and going to all these different places, and like it's like in the mid 90s and humid here, so. Yeah.
I would venture to say in the car it's in the mid 100s.
It's actually not. It just feels different from LA because it's not dry heat. But yeah, so that's why Valora's got the good start this week. She's rallying, helping production.
All right.
Production.
Should
Okay.
we move on to our topic?
Our main topic: 299 episodes, glorious, glorious episodes of this show. We've had so many ups and downs, so many guests. So many topics, but I will say that every time I think that we've covered every topic, somebody comes up with an idea that we haven't talked about already. So, although
That's
sometimes like David's like, let's do an abortion topic, and I'm like, I think we've done 2 already.
No recollection whatsoever. That's no
But I
idea.
think like after 6-7 years, you just like recycle topics because you forget you've done them.
Well, topics change
That's
too. I mean, abortion
That's
has
true.
changed
That is true.
since we did it.
That is
true.
So I know Nathan's come to armed with some data. That might be fun to start with.
Yeah,
So,
we'll start with some of it. How about
Some
we
of it.
start with? I have 2 sets of data.
you say
data.
data or
I don't
data?
know what I said. I just wanted to say data that time. And the first bit is our top 5 worst performing shows.
Like
So
through
these are
the
like-
numbers of people.
These are just numbers, the least amount of views. Now, I do want to point out that the data is probably a bit influenced by timeline. So the more an episode is up and available, the more views it's going to get over time, because when people download
That's fair.
an episode, so we're at 299 now, so someone might watch 298 and they'll be like, oh, I like that, I'm going to go back and watch 1. So 1 gets hit up a lot, and the earlier ones get hit up a lot. So the longer you're on, the more you're going to grow. So
I wonder if I would have to re-listen to our first episode because I think it's just a jumble of craziness, and I wonder if that discourages some listeners that say, "Hey, let me see what this podcast is about. I'll start with 1," and it's nuts.
right.
I wonder if that harms our listenership.
Maybe we should go back and retire the first 30 episodes.
What do you think, listeners?
Let us know. Well, we're going to be talking to someone who went back and listened. We need to
We
find
will.
out.
That
That's
is
true.
a surprise for next week. We do have someone.
Spoiled.
It's okay. It's
Spoiler
okay.
alert.
We have someone that in less than a year listened to every single episode up to
True.
this one, and we're gonna kind of get her raw, unfiltered
True.
feedback of what that was like to be so immersed in the show for so long, and if that like messed with her brain or like I don't know what that does to like physiologically.
Physiological.
Good point.
A number of times she would check in with us, and I couldn't believe she was still going, and I couldn't believe she hasn't just like driven her car into a river.
Yes.
She survived.
If you're listening right now, I would like a comment from you. But I went back and listened to a few different episodes. I didn't get to the first one. Did you guys listen to it recently?
It's been years since I've listened to that one.
Yeah.
So I have no clue. But do you guys know? I don't know if we should talk about this now. But do you remember that we used to have a different format of the show?
We didn't have a format.
There really
That was
wasn't.
our.
Well, we would talk about a whole bunch of different topics.
Yeah,
Did you
that's
remember
right.
that?
Yeah.
All at once, like in
Yeah,
one
all
show?
at once. Like
We
we'd
would
go,
have, like-
ready, go. We would just talk and just
Or
go
we'd
in.
have
Yeah.
3 topics.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and just
Oh,
go
that's
in
right, we
from
did
one
have
to the
to,
other. And
Yeah.
Okay.
who knew?
Who knew? So these are typically more recent episodes, and I don't have dates, but
That's okay.
it's like the last 50 is what they ended up being in. The last 50
Oh.
episodes, 60 episodes. So, and they all came in under about, all were under 500,000 views. So just to give you an idea of how low the
Yeah.
count was.
Right.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Under 500,000 Okay, so in place 5 is episode 240. Should we defund the police?
Nobody wanted to. Nobody wanted
Nobody
that.
wanted.
Like
Everyone
that.
was over hearing about defunding the police. No one wanted to talk about it.
I'm sure it
That
didn't
was-
do well in the red states.
That was such a trendy topic for a while,
It
and that
was
is like it's not
trendy.
cool anymore. To
You know,
say
people
that.
don't talk about it
We
anymore.
weren't, and just to say, we were discussing what that meant. We weren't
Yeah.
pro defund the police. We were exploring
It was a
that whole
whole
movement.
whole exploration.
It
of
wasn't a
defunding
bad
the police.
podcast.
No,
thing.
and I remember that
Exactly.
we decided during that podcast that defunding the police was the wrong
Yeah,
term.
we
It should
did.
have been reappropriate funds that the police
Yeah.
are
And
able to attain or whatever.
And I
Yeah.
believe we also decided that police were important, and we wanted to keep
Yeah.
them.
We also talked about Stone Cold Steve Austin,
Oh.
old people, the South, Betsy DeVos,
Oh God.
corruption, and lesbians.
I think
Lesbians
that,
have low numbers?
Well, we talked about lesbians.
I
and-
think David puts that in the description of every episode.
Oh, okay. So
Well,
that was number 5 under, least watched. Number 4, least watched, least engaged episode, Diet, the final decision.
Are you serious? I literally
Diet,
solved
the
diet for
final
all of you,
decision.
and you don't listen to it. You
Aaron,
know what?
Yeah.
Just go ahead and be unhealthy, okay?
She
I
told,
don't care.
She told us what to eat for maximum health and spoon fed us the ideal food choices to develop our perfect diet.
Come
they didn't
on,
listen.
people.
No,
People never listen.
That was
no.
that podcast was a culmination of years of my trial and error to figure out
That's true.
what the answers were. It's funny that no one.
we talked about IBS even.
Yeah,
and white
I had
women,
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I am aware.
Yeah.
She even experimented with lesbianality just to get the proper diet.
We even talked about your mom.
My mom.
No, just your mom.
Your
Just
mom.
Just anyone's mom.
Yeah, your mom. All right, so that was number 4, under 500,000. Number 3, we're getting down to the least engaged. What is the perfect meal?
Oh, come on. We had Christopher Davis,
282.
the world-class chef Christopher Davis on that episode.
Wait, is that the one where we all said what we want to eat? Because
Yeah.
I heard from certain
That's
people that they
right.
loved that. And they were getting mad at us during it because their mouths were watering,
I
talking
remember
about...
there was a lot of engagement. A lot of people were.
Yeah.
Well, again, these are more recent episodes that haven't had time to ripen on the vine
Okay.
of time. So we did talk about my hairdo, and French onion soup, and
And from
Korean barbecue,
Oh, yummy.
and fresh chocolate chip cookies,
Oh my God. Yeah.
Boston cream donuts,
Oh yeah.
and a $50,000 cake.
That's right. That was on my diet.
And
That's
we
my
also
diet.
discussed lesbians on that show.
Lesbianism.
All right, number 2, corporate control.
That sounds boring.
I don't remember that.
That sounds really. None of us are going to remember what that was. Do you have any idea what that was?
No, I don't remember it at all.
no,
Listeners, do
No,
you
it's
know
not.
what that
David,
means?
you brought this up.
Oh, it was a
because about-
corporate quiz.
Oh, who does what and where's the money going? And stuff
Right.
like that. That was interesting. We learned stuff that you guys didn't know.
That's true. We talked about Children of the Corn, Larry the Bird, Mark Zuckerberg, the iPhone, the Rubik's Cube, Vaseline,
Vaseline.
and lesbians.
We talked about lesbians because people didn't
Yes,
listen.
lesbians.
I'm seeing a trend here. In our
All
Come on,
right.
lesbians. Come on.
So this is the least engaged topic that we've covered so far. Nature versus nurture.
Really? Because I feel like we blew the lid off of that and came up with the answer to that question, which is the age-old question. I'm
We
surprised.
solved
Yeah.
it. But I don't think people want to know.
I think they don't know if they want to know because they don't want to know because it was genetically ingrained or because they were taught to believe.
Oh, that's interesting. That's our next topic, ladies and gentlemen.
That's what I think. Oh wait, not surprisingly, lesbians did factor into the discussion.
Huh.
They did?
Yeah. Okay, so that was the top 5 least engaged friend cast episodes.
Oh, sounds like we have a comment that David is struggling.
It's
to
hard to dial. Oh, Mulligan Hama. Look, it's Mulligan Hama, everybody.
Hello.
Yay, we're all together.
So, Did you guys have like a
Look, Hooligan Mama. Look at the screen, Hooligan Mama. Look.
David, can you focus for a second?
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Did you guys have? Are there any moments that stood out for either of you? That were, like, really fun episodes, or even like
Yeah.
just anything that stood out. It doesn't have to be positive.
I have a list.
Oh, well.
Whoa, how
Look
convenient.
who's prepared.
I found because I don't know if you know, ladies and gentlemen, in the 50s when we started this program, we used to just wing the theme song. Do you guys remember that?
Do you want to try it? It's been a long time.
We should try it. Well, okay, let's try it, and then I'll play the best one we ever did.
Okay, sure.
All right.
Ready?
Here,
Yeah.
you count us down.
3, 2, 1.
Bitch! Oh, we scared the
I'm
cat.
really good at that, actually.
You did.
Here, and then where's your microphone?
I
Oh,
hope
I
we
could
didn't
just
wake
do it
up
in my
the
microphone.
Yeah,
I have a microphone.
But put it closer to the yeah.
Okay.
And that.
also that.
Yeah, there you go. There you
All right,
go.
everybody, I'm going to play the best one we ever did pro bono. What's the term?
Improv.
Improv. Ah!
This
Are you
Pro Bono
ready?
Too is free.
Oh, wait, Hooligan Mama says something. We got to find out before we play it. I love that you're wearing it. Okay, Hooligan Mama gets another gold star because she gave me this amazing shirt that I'm wearing right now,
It says
Wow.
lesbian slut.
which I am proud to be. Okay, you guys ready? This is the
Yes.
best one we ever did improv.
Turn it up.
Break it down, bitch. Oh, welcome to the internet. Wasn't that good?
Okay.
That was actually pretty
Okay.
fun. I
That was
didn't
good.
miss improvising the song.
Well-
That was like a good way to get energetically into the episode.
On the 300th, we'll do it.
You can always go back.
We're going to improv the song, ladies and
Whoa.
gentlemen.
Let us know. We'll do it.
And thank you, Mulligan Hama.
What were we talking about? Getting energy?
Nathan
What were
just
we-
Oh.
Nathan just fell asleep
what were we talking about?
mid-sentence.
Getting
Listen,
energy
we've
for
been
the
working
show.
ourselves to the bone.
Dude, in 3-digit key.
And-
humidity. All right, where's your list, David? I got
So-
top 5 most engaged episodes.
Oh,
so
save
we have
that
to
for
come
last.
back to that. We're gonna
So-
get back to that.
On my list was, I have to say, this is a really recent one. It was the LA Mukbang, which is episode 295, which was not that long ago.
That wasn't
We were all in LA together, and we just sat at a table and we just ate food on camera for an hour and a half, and it was just glorious for us. I don't know how it was for listeners.
I have to tell you, I heard from listeners that it was great, and they want us to continue doing that.
It looks like we lost sound.
Did we lose sound? Can you hear us?
Where does it say we lost sound?
We got a little note here that someone's telling us we lost sound.
What?
It might have been for your the thing you were trying to share with everyone.
Oh.
We should confirm that people can hear us now, though.
Can you hear us now? What do we do?
If we can get a thumbs up. Can we get a thumbs up that you can hear us now?
If anyone can
Can
hear
you
us,
scream?
please write in saying you can hear us right now. This is the worst thing that ever happened on the podcast. I guess they can't hear us. What are they doing? Are you people screwing
Did we
around?
mute?
No, I think
Oh,
we
I can hear
I think
you
it
on
was probably,
Twitch.
It was probably when you were playing that song, David.
Oh, it was just a song. I'm sorry, everybody.
That's my guess.
We'll see about that.
Okay, so go ahead,
I also
Aaron.
really enjoyed our uncensored Santa Q&A, which was back in December
Dude.
of 2021. We asked, it was episode 257. Santa Claus came on the episode. This is not the first time he
He
was
came on the episode?
on. Basically, because we asked him a whole bunch of really weird questions, and he answered everything without even hesitating. So that was a fun one. That stands out for me.
And I
That was
remember
great.
without even asking, he told us about his dating life and his 3-ways and things like that.
Yeah, no, and he's like, it sounds like he is not faithful to Mrs. Claus.
Well, wait.
No, totally. But wait, I want to go back to the mukbang really fast because I heard it from a few different people. Listeners right now, if you want us to do more mukbanging, comment and let us
I don't have anyone
know.
to say no because we might have already done that for the 300th.
well, no, but if you want us to, if you really liked it, say yes because that's what we want to do for our world life is to actually just mukbang, just go around and eat and mukbang. And
We
eat
had a
and eat
listener
and
say,
mukbang.
yes, Santa and all the ones with Brother Chris, both quirky, humorous.
Oh, that's good.
Nice.
We saw Brother Chris today. He's awesome.
Brother Chris will make a significant appearance on the 300th episode.
Yes.
And you'll see why. He plays a very important role in creating that episode.
Dude.
So I have a memory that I wanted to remind everyone of.
What?
It was one of our Scientology episodes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we interviewed this individual twice. Once they're from Australia. The first time was a really kind of interesting interview.
From Australia?
Wasn't he from Australia?
Are you talking about the independent crazy person?
Yes. He was totally cool and kind of nice and talking about. And then the next time we interviewed him, he had been arrested for like running around naked or like spray painting something on a football field.
What are you talking about?
Okay.
David, can you bring us home?
Yeah, I don't remember what episode it was.
Yeah, I don't remember either.
We had an independent Scientologist from Australia who was a crazy person.
I forgot about him.
But
Yeah.
you're misremembering it. We had him on once, and then we were gonna have him back on because he said he was a trans woman,
that's
and
right.
he transitioned.
That's right.
And before we could get him on, he came out as, it was just a joke, and we were just like, I don't get the joke. But then we found out he was arrested because he wrote "Somebody Must Die" or something on a field in Australia, but she was a lady activist, and she did die or something like that, and the family got mad, and he was arrested. So we were like, maybe we don't want him on the. We don't want.
So we didn't do a second
Yes, we
episode?
never had a second
Okay, because
episode.
I remember there being a lot after that first episode, and just being I forgot about
That's
the
bizarre.
transitioning
Gender.
I forgot about that person.
Yeah. Okay,
But-
so that's a memory.
But even during the episode, we were looking at each other thinking he was insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a
Okay.
memory of Rich Finley. Do you remember him?
No, who was that?
He was
Rich.
the What's Up Honda guy.
He was in the car accident. He was rear-ended,
Yeah.
and now he has triple vision.
Triple vision. Like he sees 3 of everything. He lives his life like that. And he's been trying to sue Honda because it was a defective airbag deployment or something. I don't remember the exact details of the accident, but the car messed up, and Honda's been kind of pushing him aside and not taking responsibility, and his entire life has been ruined. So he came on the podcast. We had 2 episodes. It was in 2 parts. We talked about what he's going through in his crusade to try to get justice, and it was really intense. He's such a cool guy, and he's like a video creator and created a really funny video about it.
Yeah.
Did we ever find out what the hell happened to him?
Well, no, I haven't heard from him in a while.
I know that so the accident was he was rear-ended by a woman who fell asleep in her car or something, and her insurance had expired, so she didn't have personal insurance to cover the accident and his injuries.
Oh.
And there was and then Honda was like, the company that they had outsourced because his airbag did not deploy.
It didn't. Okay.
So he was trying to sue them for that, and there was just a whole bunch of corporate bullcrap about that. They had outsourced to someone else, and it was a pretty complicated story. And there was a few times where it looked like he was getting close to getting some justice, and it just kept not happening. So
It kept not happening.
There's a memory from a listener that said David's reaction when Aaron read some random reviewer saying David has anger issues. This was years ago. I remember that we had someone that reviewed our episode. They posted a very thorough review on iTunes.
Podcast Wonder or something like that.
Like Podwalker 50 or something.
Podwalker 50 or something.
I tried to find this person because it was such an intense review.
Well, they listened to like dozens of episodes.
Yeah, and it really kind of nailed us on the head with all of our faults and just spelled out how fucked up we all are.
It was an awesome review. We loved it. We wanted to know we wanted to have him on as a guest.
Right.
We're saying he. We're so racist. It could have been
whoever,
a she.
Whatever.
They. She identifies as she, they. And can anyone explain that to us?
And then apparently they called David out for having anger issues.
But they also said that Aaron had a potty mouth, I remember.
Yeah.
But it was an awesome
That's
review.
true.
Yeah, and I took umbrage with the fact that they listened to dozens of our episodes, yet only gave us 1 star.
Right.
But it's like, no, if you're listening to dozens of episodes, something is keeping you coming back for more.
Good point.
That is true. That's funny. I kind of forgot about that. I have to say, I might be a little biased, but episode 198 was called Listen to Your Poo. And I feel like that was an underrated podcast that people really need to go back and listen to.
We
Come on.
all are no, right? No.
I mean, if you listen to it, you'll understand why it's important to listen to your poop.
Ew, I don't remember it at all, and thank God. Well, I have two back-to-back that I thought were, when I was listening to him, I couldn't remember how good they were. There were two interviews. You want to guess who they were? They were, one we got as an interview, we couldn't believe that we were getting this person. Tony Ortega. And that was an incredible interview. I listened to it back again.
That was a really good episode.
Yeah, and there were so many interesting things that he revealed on that episode that I completely forgot about. If you have any interest in Scientology and how wacky it is, go back and listen to it.
That was April 20. What year was that?
2017.
2017.
I don't know why it doesn't give the numbers on
I don't
here.
think we were numbering at the time.
Yeah, but it's April 23rd, 2017, and it was really good. And then the next one was April 27th, 2017. It was Charles Phoenix.
That's a good one.
And we were talking about his cakes. And do you remember
Yeah.
I lost my shit when we found out that sometimes he just makes them with oatmeal or something, and he doesn't even do it for taste, just for looks and stuff.
Right.
And then I didn't remember this, that he said he just throws them, like he threw them off a building once because he just gets rid of them because nobody wants them. And I remember I said, well, can you, and he wanted to figure out how to slingshot them.
Mm.
And I said, let's do it. And you can slingshot them at me. And for some reason, he had an aversion to that. He didn't want to do it. And we were like, and I even said, Aaron will videotape it and Nathan will be there and he'll announce it. And you guys both were like, yes, we will do that. Absolutely, we will do that. And he just kind of like tried to like.
Wasn't into it.
Yeah.
Just didn't like the idea. That's okay.
Which is weird. But
I still haven't seen his show that he does. The live slideshow where he like finds random slides from like someone's family vacation, like people he wouldn't know.
Yes.
Just picked up at like a garage show or something, and then he does a show where he like shows that. That just sounds like such a cool idea.
Yeah.
It sounds amazing. And in the interview, he was having a free one in LA. We were all going to be there, and we were all excited about it on the podcast. And did we go? We didn't go. We were like, oh my God, we're going to go. And I was like, why did we get so excited and say we're going to go? We just didn't go.
That doesn't seem
Listen,
like us.
We're busy. But you know what we did do during that episode is we drove to Palm Springs.
That's right.
And we stayed overnight there.
You know what else is happening that weekend?
Yeah. Do you remember what we did right before the podcast?
We ran 19 miles.
They ran 19 miles in preparation for the marathon because these two people are insane.
That was a horrible run, too.
That was hard. It was hot.
Really hard.
It was flat.
And then we got back at mile 17, so we just had to run and run circles for 2
It
miles.
was really hard.
Oh, that's horrible. I don't even know why you wanted to run the marathon.
We stopped at, like, the last 5 miles of that, we just completely stopped interacting. So
That's right.
We couldn't even look at each
Yeah.
other.
All right, I have 2 episodes that I found just because I love their titles.
Okay.
So, and I don't even remember what we talked about in these. But the titles were so good that I had to bring them up.
What are they?
Okay.
Oh my God.
Hold on.
Wait,
First,
sorry.
we have a.
We have
gosh.
a comment. Remember the fight in Chicago? Hillary Clinton. Poor guest Brittany didn't know what to say.
That's right.
Poor Brittany.
You know what? I didn't even want to bring that up again because every time I think about our podcast, I think about how horrible that episode was.
That was almost the end of the podcast.
It was. That was right after Trump won.
It was literally the day it was announced.
We were disagreeing about. Obviously, we were. Some of us were unhappy with the results, and we found out that David didn't voted third party, and then I lost my shit.
And I've been vindicated because since then Hillary has gotten rid of abortion. Hillary has banned Black people from protesting, and she also she bombed the Ukraine. So I've been vindicated.
Good point.
Thank you.
David.
Thank you.
So
Please, no one go back and listen to that episode. We were
It's
in
brutal.
Chicago for the Chicago Comedy Film Festival. We were there for our film Yes and I Do. We had Brittany there, who was one of the stars of that.
We met Jane Lynch.
Yeah, it
We
was
did.
a really great trip, and shit hit the fan in our Airbnb that night.
Yeah.
But the weird thing is we agree politically-ish. I don't know what we were arguing about.
I do.
What were we arguing about?
David.
Oh, you were mad. I will agree, and I talked to actually CB Actor Traveler who brought this up and is making a spite about it now. He brought it up, and because I have thought several times, and I will admit right now that I was wrong. I thought several times, like, who cares? Voting is stupid. Like, who cares? But had we all voted against Trump, we would still have abortion, and abortion is a celebration of life, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, David.
What?
I think that's really cool that you said that, and I want to shake your hand, and I want to put that all behind us.
Thank you.
But I have something I want to say.
Oh no!
What do you want to say?
Okay, so these 2 episodes that
Okay,
I thought were
we'll move it
hilarious.
back.
Oh.
One was, the title of this one episode was The California Primary Election and the Porno Report. That was one episode.
No idea what we talked
I
about.
have no
None.
idea either.
None.
But it was the California primary
Porno.
election and the porno report.
There were a lot of political episodes when I went back because we've
really?
been through, our podcast has been through not only the 2020 election, but 2016 election. All the primaries. We did one on the Iowa caucus.
Excuse me?
I did like a whole episode like trying to defend Hillary to David. It
Oh,
obviously did
wow.
not work.
Okay. All right, here's one of my other favorite titles. Will birds be the downfall of society?
And will they?
I don't know. I can't remember what we decided.
Yeah. Apparently, it's good to look back and see how far we've come. Have
Thank
we come
you,
far?
EB Scepter
Have
Traveler.
we?
I don't know. I think we've done it a long time.
We
Well-
have done it a long time.
Well, it's weird. I recommend that you guys go back because I listen to old podcasts and I have no clue. Oh, this is, I don't know if Nathan does this, but Aaron and I were talking about this. We'll listen to old podcasts where we don't remember anything we talked about. And it's like we're listening for the first time and we'll react in present time. Like as we're listening, we'll say like, oh my God, you're so stupid. And we'll hear ourselves say, oh my God, you're so stupid. Like we'll do the same things that we did back then.
It's really wild because you're like, you know, anytime you're hearing something or seeing something, you're like reacting in your mind and having So, and it's just funny to like, the second you have it in your head, you hear yourself say it and you're like, oh my God.
That is weird. I had a similar experience. This is a little bit differently. But I did a play in college called How I Learned to Drive. That was years ago. I just went and saw it with the people I did the production with on Broadway. And when we were heading to the show, I was like, I don't remember any of the lines. Like I remember scenes, but I couldn't tell you any of the lines. As soon as the actors came out and said the first line, I was like, oh yeah, that was what Sammy would say. That's the beginning of the show. And from there on, it was like every line that I heard, it was familiar.
Wow.
Yeah, it was really bizarre. Because we had memorized it, performed it time and time again.
Yeah.
But it had been so many years. Kind of.
Yeah.
That's
I want to bring up an episode that I don't totally remember, but I thought it was such a great idea. It's episode 182 is David visits the future and answers the most burning questions of our age.
What happened?
Apparently, you admit to going back you go to the future, then you come back. You talk about if dinosaurs will be brought back to life, where and when we will discover alien life, and what will be the next super virus.
Wait a minute.
Wow,
What year was
I
that?
know.
What year was
year
that?
was
That
this?
was 182. That was before COVID.
But what year did you just say?
182
That
would
was
have been.
2019.
Oh, wow.
So I predicted the next super virus, people. I predicted the next super virus. Suck
You said
it,
was
people.
192?
182.
182.
Oh my God. Hello. Our listeners aren't even applauding me for that.
They're going to applaud you in the future.
Apparently, we were told by a listener that
Wow.
we should be very proud of ourselves.
For what?
It's a great
For what,
question.
CB After
Oh,
Traveler?
wait. You know what? We did talk about lesbian overlords.
And
We
that
did?
episode-
Yeah.
Lesbian over.
overlords.
Okay, I would like to make a completely unrelated announcement. This summer, I want you to see me on tour with my band, Lesbian Overlords. We're coming to your town, people. Lesbian Overlords. Don't you guys want to start a band called Lesbian Overlords?
Sort of.
Listeners, would you come see us if we were playing in your town, the Lesbian Overlords?
Only if we were playing at your local Presbyterian church.
100%.
All right.
I have one just general cool thing about the podcast is that I can look back and there's so many things about my or our life that are memorialized. like we go back and we talk about Hawaii, which was our honeymoon. We had 2 episodes that were filmed live at our wedding.
That's
And the recap. And we talked about giving birth. I talk about the entire, like, that's all.
Did I tell you about when I gave birth?
Yeah, you talked all about how you gave birth. And then, like, anytime I did a Nat Geo trip, like went to Iceland or Peru, Patagonia, like they're all recapped, which is kind of cool because I can like go back and like see 7 years of my and our lives kind of, you know, laid out, like all these memories that I'm sure I'm gonna forgotten by now. So I know that doesn't mean anything to anyone else, but
wait,
I think it's cool.
Wait, time capsule.
Are you saying we should bury this for future generations in case the Earth is devastated by some sort of cataclysm, so that they can reanimate the human race through our podcast? Is that what you're saying?
The next super virus will wipe everyone else. Well, it's
and
funny.
They'll be like, everyone should have voted for Hillary.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because I was thinking about Cora, and you know, like often when parents or people pass away, if they have journals or something, their kids will inherit it and go through and like see the lives of their loved ones that they didn't know existed, and that's what the podcast is going to be. Cora will know so much, good and bad, about me through the show if these episodes continue.
Do you want her to know what she would find out in the podcast?
Do you
guys want your daughter to know?
I
don't know.
I mean, she's not gonna. I doubt she'd be interested until she was old enough to like actually appreciate it.
Yeah, not need us anymore.
Yeah, so I feel like that would be really special at some point.
No, like 25.
There's this really sad, excellent movie starring Michael Keaton and Nicole Kidman called, I think it's called My Life. And they're about to have a baby, where she gets pregnant, and he gets diagnosed with terminal cancer.
Ugh.
So he spends, the film is him trying to find a cure, trying different treatments, but also video recording himself, like teaching his kid all these things that he like life lessons.
I can't with that stuff anymore.
It's so good. It's devastating.
Oh wow.
But in a way,
does he end up dying or no?
I don't want to ruin the movie. You should watch it sometime. It's it came out in like 90.
I found myself as a new parent being very, very sensitive to anything where a child or a parent is dying or has died.
Of course.
Like I never felt that way before, but now it's like I don't even want to watch that movie. It's just too much. But so we have a comment here from a listener that they love episodes with our parents. I was thinking about that too, because we haven't had any dads on, but we've had all of the moms.
Sure.
We even had an episode on Mother's Day where we called all of our moms in one episode.
We did that?
Yeah, a video one. That was like, I think during the pandemic, that
I don't
2020,
remember.
Mother's Day 2020.
My dad's dad.
So that was fun. That's a good memory.
But they both said that they would never have their fathers on the podcast.
Look at someone said this has become one of my favorite episodes where you three talk about yourselves and what you like. You don't need big topics.
Aww.
Oh wow, that's a breakthrough. But you were part of the last comment, Nancy Von Evans. How do you feel about that? Him saying he liked you being on the podcast.
Well, we
I mean, we don't try to do anything lofty like solving moral dilemmas.
We solved it though. We did
one
solve
of the episodes we did. Oh, we also did an episode called Hail Satan.
Hail Satan was a good one. Because I like bringing topics, because that was one topic where you guys were like, what? Hail Satan, what? And then I explained it to you, and you guys are like, oh, that's good. Like, religious freedom is a good cause. I like the ones that I found, because we've talked about a lot of really incredible science shit, and I love science breakthroughs.
Like the science of soup. Do you remember that one?
The science of soup. We are too crazy. We're too on the edge.
I'm sorry. I love that episode.
But we did one on will virtual reality therapy save human race? And I like it because it starts out with Erin going, I'm not into virtual reality. I don't care. And then I explain it to her. And by the end of it, you're like, you know what? I would try out virtual reality therapy. But I bet you right now you have no recollection.
I know, it's so funny.
As to what it is.
He even knows me so well because he says that in my mind. I was like, I don't care about that at all. I don't remember what you said.
But when I explained it to you, and even Nathan was like, that sounds really cool. I would definitely try it out. But you said you want to be awake. You don't want to be in the kind of virtual reality where you're put under. You want to be awake and
Correct.
cognizant the whole time.
That's true.
But we did do a lot of really great, like that one and CRISPR, and we did one on
Remember tardigrades?
tardigrades. That was
early.
awesome.
That's very
I
early
really
one.
like that one.
They're good. We have some good scientific breakthroughs.
Nancy Von Edmondson said one of my favorites too, the one about me. Ha.
It's a good one.
It was
She
a good
had a
one.
really great album cover for that
Oh
one.
my gosh, The Last of the Moms.
It was Last of the
Absolutely the best
Weekends.
artwork that our
Yeah.
podcast has ever had. But it was fun because she flew across the country to Los Angeles, and we did all kinds of stuff. We went to the LA Art Show, we went wine tasting, and we recorded an episode together.
No, wait.
That's right.
Did your dad listen to that episode, Nathan?
I don't know.
You
Yeah.
never talked to him about the episode, about the
Not
podcast.
really.
Has your mom ever talked to you about the podcast in front of your father?
Yes.
And what does he do? Just leaves the room quickly?
I just don't know if he really pays attention.
He doesn't care at all?
It's never really come up. I don't know if it's at a point where he knows about it now and then is upset that I've never talked about it really with him.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I just don't know if it's really on his radar.
Well, Nancy Von Edmondson, tell us about it. Tell us about your husband's relationship with the podcast. Because it's funny because he loves Nathan. I know that. And
Yeah,
Nathan
for
loves
sure.
him. But he's acting like my father who hated me.
Well, I think for us it was more he doesn't align politically very much with us
Or
obviously-
religiously.
or religiously, and a lot those topics come up a lot for us. So
Yeah.
I just really didn't think our content would be something that he would enjoy. And he doesn't listen to any podcasts, so he's not a podcast person.
Yeah.
So it's not something he's really interested in or cares about.
Yeah.
So should we do the top 5 and then
Yeah,
we get back
can
to
I-
your guys' stuff?
I was
Oh.
just gonna we could do that, or I was gonna go through some guests. If I read through like a dozen of our guests just back to back, it's amazing the range of people we
Yeah,
have.
do it.
It's like, and this isn't everyone, but any means. This is just like the most I don't know, interesting. I don't want to say interesting because that's not right.
Divergent?
But like the most diverse array of guests we've had. We had Jane Borden to talk about cults.
Right.
We had Jim Detillo talking about gene therapy.
Yes.
We had a lawyer, Jesse Tasselman, talking about monetizing your passions. We've had a Rabbi Solomon, talking about religion. We had a Kyle Rell, comedian, talking about pet peeves. We had a playwright, an ex-Mormon playwright, Nathan Wright. We had an illustrator, Matt Hirschfeld. We had someone talking about Ayurveda, which was Mallory Glenn. We had Liz Opalka, who was a horse anesthetizer.
She's a horse
Right.
anesthetized.
We had Ryan Beatty, Michael Oliviero, both singer-songwriters that performed on the show. Ukulele as well. We had a British person, Giles Andrew, come on talking about Brexit. And that's just a tip of the iceberg.
We had a congressperson on the show.
And a congressperson.
A congressperson, and not to mention Tony Ortega, a world famous journalist.
You kind of, that was
What?
going to be like my favorite episode of all time, is having her on.
Oh,
Oh,
I'm
okay.
sorry.
No, it's okay.
I ruined
It's okay.
it. I ruined
We can
it.
still talk about that, but no, we had like a psychologist, we had a juggler, we had like a tantric sex guy talking about spirituality and sexuality. I don't know.
And you're missing the most important guest we had on of all.
Well,
We had a lesbian. We had a lesbian talking about lesbianality.
David, at some point we need to do an episode on why you're so obsessed with lesbians.
That's
We
a
should
good
have
point.
it. Can we have the lesbian back on? I love her. The lesbian we have is Jen Curcio. And she has her own podcast where she goes to spooky and haunted places. And I love the podcast because it's like hanging out with your friends, because she has such a wonderful, friendly voice. It's like you're hanging out with a friend. Like, it makes you feel better to listen to the episode. So lesbians are good, you guys. Stop it.
All right.
So
David,
top
it's all
5.
you.
These are the top 5 most listened to episodes
Of all time.
of all time.
Okay.
And I'm going to start off with top 6 because I miscounted and had 5 and then realized that 1 knocked someone out
Okay.
of the spot.
Oh.
So the
Wow,
spot
drama.
knocked down to 6th place. So this is 6th place with so this is definitely like over 2 million views. Singer-songwriter Michael Liviero is 6th place.
Really?
Wow. I wonder, he must have shared it with his following.
Whatever
I
happened to
shared
him?
it with his following.
Have you guys talked to him?
I would say it's been years now, but I would, for about like once a year, I would text him and ask him how he was doing because he was an old friend. And I didn't hear back. I stopped hearing back. So I don't know. I have no idea where he is or what he's doing.
He never texts back?
Such a lovely
he is a
person. And
lovely
he's so
person.
talented.
He's very nice.
We've been out a couple times since he's been in LA. So I hope he's doing well. That
So
was a fun episode.
Quick little backstory on him. He was a musician, like loved music, and then became a lawyer, and then had an existential crisis and decided to pursue music. Moved to LA, like went hardcore into music. Started this band, was really growing and doing well, and then he started like dabbling in being a lawyer again. And I want like just for money, like kind of going back. So I wonder if he just became a lawyer again.
I don't know. I would love to follow up with him.
Yeah.
Good dude.
He's a good dude. Okay, so that was number 6.
Yeah, I'm glad people listen to that one.
Yeah, it was a good episode. He's a great guy. Number 5.
Number 5.
The Woman's March Through the Eyes of Aaron and Nathan.
Ooh.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
That was just such an interesting day.
It's a
I actually
surprise.
wanted to go back and re-listen to that because I remember, from my memories, but I'm sure there's lots of things that I'm forgetting. But I remember waking up, and we didn't have like pussy hats or anything. We just like knew we wanted to go and be a part of this because we were like outraged that Donnie Dump was our president and just wanted to be a part of something to make us feel like we're doing something. And we walked to the train station, and it took about 15 trains, just packed full of people for us to like finally
Before there
find
was space for us to go
find like a tiny corner for us to get on a train, and then dumped us off downtown. And I don't know how many hundreds of thousands of people were there. It was just like an incredible event to be at, and it was peaceful, and it just despite it being because of such a negative thing, there was such good energy there, like good people there, just trying to rally together and. It was a really, really cool day.
Why haven't there been marches now? This is the time it's necessary. Why aren't they now?
I mean, I think there are a lot of protests going on about.
But I feel like you don't
Wade.
see them. I don't know.
Well,
But-
I mean, the Women's March was like an international phenomenon, so it got a lot of coverage.
So I think like especially after the Roe vs. Wade, there's been lots of protests, but they've been local and small. I think, or not the same. Huge.
And I remembered because I was in Playa Vista a couple of days ago, and I remembered that on Women's Day, when you guys went there, I kicked a woman in Playa Vista in the stomach, and I'm not going to tell you guys why. And I talked about it on the episode. I don't know if you guys remember, but I'll only tell you guys why if the listener says, David, why did you kick a woman in the stomach? If not, we're going to continue on with Nathan's next episode.
Oh, you're really baiting the audience.
Yes, I am.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, number 4. Michael Jackson, The Final Judgment.
Ooh.
Which I think is just a testament to the popularity and reach of Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
We did solve Michael Jackson on that episode.
We did, and I know that was spurred by the documentary by HBO.
Yeah.
So we did watch that and
was
commented on that. It's all really sad.
It is.
It's really unfortunate.
All right, number 3. Number 3. Leah Remini, Scientology in the Aftermath.
Of course.
Final Thoughts.
Wow.
We did an episode, Final Thoughts.
You all might be wondering why, like, at least twice a year we do a
Don't say
Scientology
it. Don't say
episode,
it.
and it's because.
Don't say
Why?
it.
No, I wasn't going to say it's because
Oh.
David was an ex-Scientologist.
No, he is an ex-Scientologist.
I was going to say because they do so well and people are so interested in it. And, I guess I do have to say that we have this incredible inside knowledge that most people don't have. And I think your perspective on this from your experience is invaluable and people love it. So, and you knew all the celebrities. So I know you hang your head in shame that you have that history, but I think it's really amazing that you can speak up about it and tell people what it's really like.
And also the episodes, our podcast really didn't start clicking until we started using the readometer.
The e-meter.
The e-meter.
The e-meter.
When we started using the e-meter every evening after our podcasts.
Yeah, it's not my fault that I was a Scientologist. I'm not real bright, and I'm easily tricked.
There you go.
That's not true at all.
All right, so that was number 3.
I bet the top one is Scientology too.
Hold on.
All
Number
right,
2
all right.
is Tony Ortega, Scientology watchdog.
Tony
Go
Ortega. That's one of
figure.
our best episodes.
That was a great
Yeah.
episode.
It was an incredible episode.
I remember. I didn't remember this, but in listening to it again, I don't know if you guys remember the Gateway to Happiness guy that I was friends with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And we found out in that episode, and I forgot, and you guys will probably not remember this, but he was spying on all of us. He was spying on all the people he knew, reporting it to head office in Scientology
Really?
about us.
What?
The
Yeah,
guy who
that's
was
what Tony
making
Ortega
it
told us.
was
Tony,
also doing that?
yeah, remember whoever had his name was Keith Relkin, the guy who died, who was a
Yeah.
gay Scientologist, who Scientology turned on, and they audited him. They audited him every day for a year and a half, doing these really strict auditing. And he died. And whoever had his notes gave them to Tony Ortega. And in his notes, Keith Relkin was spying on all his friends, doing reports on all his friends.
Oh my god.
And he said I was in there, and I didn't even think to ask what it said about me, but it's just
I
so
would wanna
stupid.
know.
It's just, well, they make up a lot of shit too, because I've
Oh,
heard
sure.
things that are lies about me, and yeah, but I think that's so funny. Like the guy who they turned on was now spying on us, and I don't know, it's just so funny. Like it's true. Like Scientology is really that crazy.
All right, number 1, Leah Remini, Scientology and the Aftermath reviewed.
This is not surprising
That was
at
the
all.
first Leah Remini. That was when that show first was launched, and we did a review of it right away.
That show was a big deal.
It was a big deal.
I remember I was in different groups of other people, and they were all talking
No,
about
it
it
was-
in different
It
places.
was a phenom. That first
Yeah.
season was phenomenal. Like,
Yeah.
because it was one of the first times that people engaged with content about Scientology and that side of things.
And how
Yeah.
fascinating that whole
Yeah.
cult is.
And it was with a celebrity who people knew, who had been on sitcoms and so
Yeah.
forth. So.
And I will review for this episode. I've said it before on this podcast that Leah Remini, when she was a Scientologist, was straight up a Scientology mean girl. She behaved in the way Scientologists do that drive people crazy. Like she would report people, she would think on her friends, and I don't know if I told you guys this on the podcast. I don't know if you remember, but we were at a party. I think it was for Lisa Marie Presley, and Leah Remini took me aside. And she said, so, the first thing she said is, you are, and I go, it's David, Leah. We've met like 3 times. And she kind of laughed and said, that happens, like forgetting my name.
Yeah.
And I go, oh, that's funny, whatever. And then I started to walk away. She goes, no. So what's happening with you? What's going on with you? And I started telling her about my life. And she's like, no. In Scientology, what's happening with you? What are you doing? And I said, oh, I did some course a little while ago, but I haven't done it. And she stopped me and she said, if you want to be in this group, meaning the group of celebrity Scientologists, you have to be at a very high level of ethics. You must continually be on course. And I need you to sign up for a course like right away, like tomorrow.
Did you?
Did you?
No, I didn't. And I was like, and I go, and I just
Wow.
laughed and rolled my eyes. And she was such a bitch. You never knew if she was trying to be funny or if she was just a bitch.
Yeah.
And she made a beeline over to Lisa Marie Presley's assistant, and she was chit-chatting with her, and she pointed at me, and I go, oh my god! And I walked over to Lisa Marie, and then her assistant came over, and I go, what did Leah say? And her assistant said, she told me that I need to write up a knowledge report about you, that you're not
Oh
on
my
services.
God.
And I remember Lisa Marie Presley rolled her eyes, and she goes, why is Leah Remini always such a fucking bitch? Why can't she just fucking relax and not be fucking bitch? That's Leah Remini.
Fair enough. Well, she's given us our most popular episode by existing.
Yeah, she's a crazy ass bitch.
I think it's the nails. That's why.
She's
so
from
popular.
New Jersey,
Oh my
yeah.
gosh,
She's
those
got to have the
nails are
nails. The nails are horrendous, is that what you said?
Yeah.
All right, those are the top 5.
Yay.
and
Well, that was fun to
extra
go back and
bonus
kind of
message.
remember all we've been through in 6.5 years. I'm really excited to share with you our 300th episode. We actually have to wrap this up because we're doing a very super secret
it's true.
pre-interview with someone who will make a guest appearance on our 300th. Our 300th won't air until the first week of August because we're actually doing this podcast a week early. So, but anyway, please follow us on our social media at Unimaginary Friend on Instagram and Facebook, because we're going to be posting a ton of short clips and photos from this entire week of shooting that episode. So you'll get a little tease of what's to come. But I will say that there is a lot of food involved, and there's a lot of travel, touristy travel, like going all around Philadelphia to all the famous hot spots and checking out the scene. It's been fun to share a lot of the stuff with David too.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
I appreciate that.
We went into a carb coma last night. Like none of us can sleep experiences.
It's too many carbs.
All right.
Let's bring it. Oh, here, you do it. Dave, I don't know how
I
to
can't.
produce the episodes.
Are you guys talk?
Yeah,
You
so
guys talk?
this is 299. 300 is in 3 weeks. And in the meantime, we'll see you on the social medias. We will, of course, have like a wild announcement about the future of our podcast as well. So we'll announce that.
I think it's interesting that nobody wanted to hear why I kicked a woman in the stomach.
Nobody cares.
Yeah.
But I want to say, in signing off, thank you, Leah Remini, for giving us our high numbers. You are a Scientology mean girl and a complete bitch.
The Unimaginary Friend Cast.
Bye.